Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. I decided to go ahead and film a in-depth drugstore highlight and contour video for you guys today. I tried to get as detailed as I could because I feel like there's so many small details that if you miss are very important. So I hope that I answered all of your questions and that I was really good at explaining everything. Please subscribe, like this video if you feel like I did an excellent job, and let me know what other questions you have. You know, I'll have no problem getting back to you guys. So without further delay, let's just hop right into it. Okay, so you want to make sure that your foundation is blended all the way out with a beauty blender, and just make sure that everything looks really smooth and nice. So then you're going to take your foundation. Now I use the LA Pro Girl concealer, and this concealer is only $3. You can get it from your local hair store, or actually the only place I found it in store is in my hair store, so, or online. But the areas that you highlight, each facial structure is different, so you pretty much want to, when you see your nose, you line it up here. That's pretty much where you want to stop your highlight at. So you want to take an amount, and you always want to make sure, ladies, when you get a lot of flashback, I know you want to like have your highlight popping, but you don't want your concealer to be that light. So you always want to make sure it's only 1 to 2 shades lighter than your original skin color. You also have to pay attention to the undertones. So when you get into really good light, if it seems like it's too yellow or too orange, then you need to find a different shade. You kind of want to make sure it almost blends in with your foundation shade. Now when you're contouring your nose, you make a straight line right down the bone. And then your forehead. Now when you're highlighting and contouring your forehead, you really got to pay attention to your forehead. If you have a small forehead, then you want to highlight a larger area because that's the area that you want to bring out. So me, I have a small forehead. Well, mine's actually isn't small. I think it's pretty big, so I don't really like to highlight my forehead that much. But when I contour it, it also looks funny to me. So you got to pay attention to that. Now, when contouring, I like to use the Black Open foundation stick. So I actually use a foundation to contour. So, pretty much you see a lot of people, you can get this from Walmart. I get mine from Walmart. You can get it from Rite Aid, CVS, just your local drugstore, and it's only about $9. Now, when you're picking the shade, I'm still actually trying to find the perfect shade to contour with for me, but you want to, you see a lot of people make this face when you contour. Now when I did that, when I make the face, I would take my line from here. You always want to start in the center of your ear, and I would always come down here. I don't like doing that anymore. It makes my face look too long and chiseled, and I want my face to come inward. So you kind of got to pay attention to how you want your face to be shaped. So now I like to bring it from here, and I come inwards, because on my face I can feel my cheekbone. My cheekbone is actually up here where it starts to come in, even though my face goes down there. So that's where I want to define that. And that's what contouring is doing. You're making your face more chiseled. So you have to figure out what shape you want it to look in. Now, like I said, I don't like my forehead to contour too much, so I just use a little bit. Now this shade is pretty brown. You don't want to use a shade that's too brown, too dark, or too dirty looking, because you know, you'll just look like a mud face, and nobody wants to look like a mud face. So sorry. I take a really flat brush And just to make sure that my concealer is all laid flat, I'll just go ahead. Now this isn't to blend it out, it's just to make sure it's all smooth and like so. And now I'm gonna go in and blend my contour out. And you always want to go in circular motions. So when you go in circular motions and you're blending this out, it just looks a lot better. You don't really want to be able to tell dramatically where you contoured at, if that makes sense. Like you don't want it to be like a really dark line just down the side of your face. So when you go in circular motions, let me show you the difference. So that's me going in circular motions. Now look when I just follow it. You see? So that's why you really want to make sure you blend it out like that. And you do want to bring it up and blend that out as well. And continue going in circular motions. Now, time for your Beauty Blender. And this is just to make sure, just to blend it out a little bit better. Make sure this is damp. When I say damp, you put it underneath the water and you squeeze out all of the water. And I actually do this before even applying any of my makeup, because I like how damp it is when it sits for a while. Like, it just feels a lot better to me. And now you grab it and you only want to pat. You just want to pat when you're blending it out. You don't really want to try and like move the makeup around. You're patting it inside of your skin. And that does take a while. Like, I know I speed it up during my videos, and when I watch other videos, I see that it's sped up as well. But the process of blending takes a while. You have to take your time when blending, which is why makeup can take so long to apply. It's because you gotta make sure you're doing it the right way. So you continue and blend that out. And then I flip my Beauty Blender to the end where I used my foundation just to blend out the edges so that it merges where I contoured and where I highlighted just a little bit better, because it has some leftover foundation on it. So that just makes it look a little bit better. Now, because I'm not really content with how light my highlight is, I'm going to go in with another Pro concealer in the shade Pure Beige. And I'm just going to put that in the center just to brighten it up just a bit. And now we're going to set it with, I also got this setting powder Air Spun from Walmart as well. This was about $9. And we're going to use that to set our makeup. Well, this is the term baking. We're about to bake. Now, if you have dry skin, I have really dry skin, you don't really want to bake too long because it's going to dry your face out. Baking is what you do to keep your makeup in place and to give it a matte, smooth finish. So you always want to make sure, it also helps underneath the eyes with creasing. So you want to make sure before you put the powder on that you go back underneath your eyes, look up, and all those creases, blend them out. Go back with that pat motion. Before you blink, dip your Beauty Blender in your setting powder and then go underneath that before any creases come back. That's how you prevent your makeup from creasing underneath your eye. And you just put that in the areas, again, a patting motion that you highlighted. gonna go ahead and wipe this off. Okay, now I'm gonna go in, because I used the cream base and liquid base foundation for my contour, I'm gonna set that with a pressed powder. I also got this from Walmart. This is Black Radiance pressed powder in Ebony. I'm gonna lightly go circular motions, and I only do it so you barely want the brush touching your face because you don't want it too harsh. And I go circular motions where I contoured. And I like to start at the ear because that's where it's a little bit more dramatic, and then blend it out to the front. Now you see the difference that made. And then I take over the excess powder to blend out my forehead's contour. Now it is time to highlight. Now I'm just going to use my glow kit. I mean, this is kind of affordable. You get 4 for $40, so that's like $10 per highlighter. That's not bad. That's affordable, right? So I'm gonna go in with Drip It and Go. Now, your eye area and right here, this is where you start your highlight, right on that cheekbone. That's going to be the area you want highlighted the most. And you want to be careful to not go all the way up here. It's not necessary. I didn't even go in on my nose contour. I'll probably do another video on that. But now you can just go ahead and apply your lip of choice, and voila, that is how I highlight and contour.